I mean, they are quite tough to handle. We go on this spot, figure. That's how we like it. Much of an intro, but we're down, just got getting some mackerel together. Got four so far on a pollock, so we're going to crack on and get some out. Rods around. We had a good start with some mackerel and pollock. Got about 9 mackerel and about 20 pollock. Pollock I've got pollock on his, I've got mackerel on mine. Current's racing it right at the moment. Just going to get some old pollock that I brought down from what I caught last time, sliced up and thrown in. Bit of ground bait, see if we can get a fish in the area. I think we've just lost the bullets on my rod. I'm just going to show you my dad's rod. It's just come out of retirement from its oak fishing line. It's got an Abu 7500. It's a bit of an upgrade to the 7000. It's got bearings in the end plates, formula bearings. £30 line straight through. But then he's also, this is his rod. He's had multiple tope on this rod. It's a Paul Kerry Diola Supercast. 1988. It's had a £50 tope on that. Obviously we're rock fishing. Not be very good. We're rock fishing, you need to keep it simple really most of the time. I've tried to mess it about with components and stuff, but I've come back to like the setup my dad uses. He was introduced to like rock fishing before. Well, he never really did beach fishing, to be honest, did you really that much? No. So he's always read books over the years and stuff. That's all they had as a sort of source of knowledge to pass on back in the 80s and stuff. So it's always fished with like a simple running ledger setup, just upgrade it for tope fishing with a wire up length and a rig body, and that's what we're fishing with today. So it's like a running ledger rig rather than all the fancy Dan stuff. So it'd be nice just to prove a point you can catch fish this way, preferably a tope. Hopefully we've got at least another 2 sessions at it, so we've had a good go at mackerel and pollock. It was nice just to get some fish with very little effort tonight. So we'll just see how we get on. We're fishing with single J hooks as well. So fingers crossed one shows. If something happens, obviously we're back on. If not, it'll be next session. Right, this morning we're having to fish a different mark today. It's swell. It's fishable though. We've had a couple of mackerel so far. It's only 20 minutes per fed. We've still got some left from last night. We've had a mackerel each so far. We've tackle 3 rods up to the bottom. We've got a lot of big swell on that, don't get me wrong, but they've got the wind wrong. Predicted from, looking at the prediction track Saturday they did. So it's a little bit rougher than yesterday because we did have a 24-mile-an-hour wind in the night, which is east to about 16, 17. It's quite pleasant down here though. At the moment, the sun's out, it's dry. So we're going to get 3 rods set up and see if we can get something out in the bottom of the tope. See how we get on. Yeah, like I say, we've got mackerel left from yesterday. There we go, isn't it? That's all we can do. We might as well give it 100% with 3 rods. Hopefully we'll get something half decent on and get it out. It's going to be difficult landing a fish in this swell. I'm sure we'll manage it somehow. Let's have a go. All the rods are out, we've got bait up so far, bottom has changed baits. Not much is happening. Got a lot of sediment in the water, strands of weed, etc. Seems to get caught on your line quite a bit. We've only managed 3 mackerel this morning. We've still got like 4 mackerel, like I say. It's been a slow start, it's got to be said. Yeah, video footage might not be the best. We've got poor conditions like with this wind and there's a swell on. So if we do hook anything, yeah, it'll be awkward. It was awkward filming last night, to be fair, as well, with the rain and stuff. So it might just be quite brief, some sections of this video. Obviously if we get something out, we'll get some good footage of unhooking the fish, etc, and weighing it and what have you. But it is going to be tough. It's tough because obviously there's a big swell on. You can't be messing about with the camera when you go down there to try and land the fish for someone. So we're hoping one shows. At the minute we've got no tide and we've got a small tide. You know, sometimes you get them on small tides occasionally. I don't like these size of tides personally, but there's always a chance. And this is like the only time we could do. So yeah, sound like my confidence is dropping already, doesn't it? But we'll just have to see what happens. Keep the faith, fingers crossed as always. Yeah, well, not a deal's happened, honestly. It's been shocking on the bottom. I've had a few more casts with feathers. I've managed to pick about 5 more mackerel, I think. Relatively easy. Same's happening again as what happened last time, getting them in singles on the ebb and in multiple cups on the flood. I just don't think we've had enough tide run as an excuse today for fishing on the bottom. I think the wind's cancelled out the current, if you like. It's like neutralised it. I think when you're fishing on bottom on marks like this, you want your line right out, being pulled with the tide one way or the other, keeping away from like the rocks. There's no sort of, I've got all my gear back as well, which is another strange thing. There's no sort of rip at the minute that's doing that. You know, like keeping your bait out in the tide, if you like. Instead of just letting it just do nothing, just come back at you sometimes if you've got a plain lead on or whatever, or slowly come back at you if you've got a gripper on. I've actually got some current to the right now, 2 hours after low. Just sorry I had much to show you. You know, I'll try a bit harder on the next session with that in terms of everything. Bless you. So, not a lot to tell you. I don't feel it in my bones for a tope at the moment. I don't know why. I just live in hope, obviously. I think conditions is massively against us. We've got a real swell, and it has quelled down a bit, but it keeps coming in droves. It definitely does now the sea comes in. It's coming in. So if not, sorry, if nothing else happens, we'll be on with the next session, I guess. So this is a bit of a bonus. I'm just going to go do a bit of lure fishing off the mark that we're hoping to fish for tope and bullets tomorrow. It's not the same marks we've been on today. So I've just got a lure rod with me and some lures, obviously. I've got my camera tripod to try and get a bit of footage for you, just to make it a bit more interesting. We'll just have to see what the conditions are like when we get down there. Just try how the filming will go, but there will be a bit more action packed in this session, assuming some fish or two turn up. Now it's a mark that I originally started fishing because it'd get out of the main brunt of the wind when it blows from a certain direction around here. So I'm gonna have a go. Just a sec. Sorry, just had to get through a gate then. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a go on this mark with the lures. Dexter wedges mainly, that's all I've brought with me. I think we've got a couple of jelly bits as well. It's going to be a bit breezy, so we'll just have to see how we get on. And now, a couple of mates have had bass off here on bait, one each, you know, a couple of schoolies, and there's got to be a chance of bass off it in these blustery conditions. It's not going to be blowing in at us. It's going to be an alright cheek, I think. We'll just see how we get on. I just hope the sound's pretty good. I'm just going to move a bit closer to the microphone. I'm just going to give it an hour. Like I say, combination of things why this video hasn't been very detailed to press is I've been going fishing with my dad. I've been fishing with him properly for like Tope and stuff for about a year in now, possibly 12 years, maybe longer. I think we may have had one session once, because I think I caught Tope. I did when he was fishing with his mate once. But yeah, so we spent a bit of time together. Obviously he couldn't make my stag do, so I come away for 4 days. We didn't pick the tides by any means, we just picked the time we were coming. The tides aren't great, it's coincided with the weather not being so great in terms of swells and stuff. Mark, we're going on to, we'll be arriving just after high tide, I think. It's off the top of my head based on the time the low was earlier. So we'll see how it goes. It's a shallower mark than we were on, but it'll probably be better having that bit of extra depth of water. And all we can do is we'll try and get some better footage. It hasn't been as detailed based on what I was saying, because obviously spending time with my dad, you know what it's like. Anyone that when you have some time away with people that matter in your life and all that, you tend to spend a lot of time talking and stuff and catching up and that, and probably filming's took a bit of a hit, not just because of that but because of the weather as well. So we'll just see how we get on. I'll just put a bit of detail into this now. I'm not a lure fisherman by trade, as you can tell, obviously, but I like to have a go for an odd hour like this when it's in walking distance to the cottage. I really do, and yeah, let's have a go. It might be too windy, the lure might not sink, but there's a nice big ledge that we can sort of make our way along. I'm sure we'll find a little bit of shelter. The sea's looking rough like, but we'll see at the mark. As you can see, it's fairly rough. We've got nice white water in the edge. The wind's not too strong. It does look favourable for catching fish. I don't know, definitely mackerel, polypin, bass. So this is how we get on. It's a bit breezy with the filming and stuff, but we'll try and get a bit of my spinning and stuff there. See how we go from there. There's a few strands of loose weed in the water. Again, it's a problem on this mark like it's been on the other mark earlier. But we'll have a go. Filming ain't going to be very easy. I've got an Abu Garcia rod with a little, I don't know what type of reel it is. It's about a 4,000 sized standard fixable reel loaded with 15-pound line. And I've got like a Dexter wedge with a bit of a paddle tail on it, red fleck plate, whatever you want to call it, treble up. So I'm just gonna, the sea's just in front of me here basically. It's a 28-gram lure. So I'll give it a launch out. Have a nice steady retrieve. Try and get a bit of footage out of wind and all that. Be alright for a bit of fish on morning first cast. It does look very favourable for fish if this sinks alright, which I think it will do. Yeah, it's definitely bassy conditions. But I think Mr. Mackerel might not be too far away from them either. I don't normally sit down that way, but this is the problem we're going to have. We've just got a lot, it's just dropped off. There's a lot of strands, a little bits of weed. So it's fishable, but it's not ideal. I wouldn't normally sit down either, but with this bit of a breeze, I'm not in a rush to reel in. I want to keep my lure down in the water as much as possible, really. You see that one fish, don't you, just to be trolling. So, see how we get on, like always. Let's have a nice steady retrieve as well, keeping the rod tip down to the water, so we're maximising as much depth as we can, really. So obviously we're a bit of a breeze on the right hand side of us. Oh, I've got more weed. We're a bit of breeze on the right hand side of us. It's going to create problems, really. This is the problem. This is one of our problems. Bits of weed like that. So what I'm going to do is I'll have a few casts. If I get anything on, I'll get some footage of it and stuff. let's see if we can winkle a couple of fish out, hopefully. Like I say, it's good conditions, I'd say, but it don't mean we're going to catch, because you know, it's better conditions for doing this than what it is for tail fishing properly at the moment. But on here, it is fishable. You'd definitely get something on here, on the bottom, I'm sure you would. It's usually a go-to mark just to get a fish of some description. I had a Tope up here. Let's have a few casts anyway with the lures, like I say, see what we can do. So hopefully we'll get something. If not, we've tried. Right guys, well, another blank by the looks of it. I had a few casts, the wind's really picked up. I'll show you in a minute what it's like. It's due to pick up to 40, just not for very long tonight. According to BBC, it's going to pick up to 40 mile an hour for an hour, in between a 20 on either side of it, which is very strange. Either way, it's starting to rain as well, and I've just got soaked. On here. I was fishing down there, I stood fine. The waves were breaking like either side of me, and then one just come off of this rock and rebound, and it hit me. Well, the ricochet off it hit me. I think I'm going to make a move. Go get some tea, have a couple of beers, maybe even some wine. I'll spin you around just this will be last bit, then I'll do a close down on the walk back up. I don't know if you can see or hear me, but this sea has picked up a little bit. I don't know if it's going to do any. See what I mean? Really is rough now. Not very pleasant, not good. Back. Let's call this part 1 this video. When I put them all on, I'll link them all in the description. I'll remind you in part 2 about that. It's been disappointing so far. Put a lot of effort in. Plenty of bait fish about, mackerel, pollock. Just nothing big. I had one good bite last night that I mentioned. Disappointing basically, guys. Not ready at that point yet, making excuses. I'm going to go back, regroup, rethink. I think we're going to hit that mark of spin on with some big baits tomorrow. Probably up first thing actually. Let's go get a bit more mackerel. I've got about 9 or 10 in the freezer, but it's probably going to blow up the day after the last day, so I think it's going to be worth just topping the old bait freezer up on a deeper mark. May hit a beach on Wednesday, maybe pour 4, try for some turbot. I'm desperate to get a turbot. I had one for about 3 years. So, might be 2 rods out each tomorrow for Billy Bully Huss. We shall see. It's been a slow start, disappointing start really. But I'm not, like I say, I'm not at that point of making excuses yet. We'll save them for Wednesday when we've got the mackerel and pollock. But, you know, we keep fishing away. I'm positive that we're going to intercept something big. It happens, doesn't it, when you fish deep water, you put the time in. It's simple as that. I'm on a bad run with these Tope. Had a strong end to the year last year, as you've seen from the videos. I'm not making excuses, I'm not going to make excuses. Pick the time to go rather than going against tides and stuff. We've got weather conditions against us as it is, but it is what it is. There's no point making excuses. We're here to catch fish. We're going to make it happen. So, to see you in part 2. It'll probably start for me to catch some mackerel for bait.